morning, students. In the previous class we have discussed about the anemia and different types of anemias, and this class we will discuss about the thrombocytopenia. When we see the thrombocytopenia, coming to the definition, thrombocytopenia means usually that is decrease in the number of platelets. Usually, the thrombocytopenia here defined as it is a medical disorder in which a person suffers from low level of platelet or colorless cells that help blood or to clot and stop bleeding by clumping or forming plaques in the wounds of the blood vessels. That means thrombocytopenia is a medical disorder in which the patient will suffer from low level of platelets that are in blood. Coming to the causes, usually the general causes are viral. When the children suffer from viral infections like chicken pox, hepatitis C, and some other viral infections like HIV, etc. And systemic lupus erythematosus, that is the one of the skin disorder, and chronic lymphocytic leukemia, drug-induced immune thrombocytopenia, sepsis, that is when there is a severe infection in the blood, and Helicobacter pylori, medication side effects, that is when some drugs are used in some of the conditions like health problems and convulsions and some other infections, the side effects caused due to those medications, and heparin, which is the blood thinner, that and chemotherapy, bypass surgery, radiation, and blood cancers like leukemia and lipomas, and a problem with bone marrow when the person takes person with alcohol, a problem with bone marrow in a person with alcohol, and vitamin B12 or folate deficiency, and 5% of healthy women get during the pregnancy also, and enlarged when there is an enlarged spleen, and body uses too many platelets, and when there is a rare disorder like hemolytic uremic syndromes and thrombocytic purpura, that is TTP. Like in these disorders usually causes the deficiency of the platelets, that is reduced platelets we can see in these disorders. Generally, some other causes are there in which there are breakdown of the platelets. In some of their conditions there is breakdown of platelets. Previously we have seen the conditions in which there is reduced number of platelets, means less number of platelets we can see when the child is exposed to viral infections, systemic lupus erythematosus, chronic lymphocytic leukemia, and drug induced immune thrombocytopenia, sepsis, Helicobacter pylori, and some of the side effects caused due to some of the medications, heparin, when they take the blood thinner drug like heparin, chemotherapy, and some other cancers. In some other cancers like leukemia and lipomas, and when the patient is on radiation treatment, and the problem with the bone marrow, and the person takes more alcohol, and some other conditions like vitamin B12 and folate deficiency, and 5% of the healthy women during the pregnancy also they will have the reduced platelets, and when there is enlarged spleen, and when the body uses too many platelets, and a rare disorder like hemolytic uremic syndrome and thrombocytopenic purpura. These are the general causes. In some other there are some other causes which increase their breakdown of the platelets. Those are pregnancy, idiopathic thrombocytopenic purpura, that is ITP, autoimmune diseases, bacteria in the blood, and thrombocytopenic purpura, hemolytic uremic syndrome, medications. Some of the medications. These also cause increased breakdown of the platelets. Coming to the signs and symptoms, here you see bruising, that is there is more and excessive bruising you can see, and superficial bleeding in the skin. Sometimes you can see the rash, like pink rash or red rash on the skin, and some prolonged cuts also you can see. Bleeding from the gums and nose, and blood in the urine and stools. And usually in the female cases there is usually more menstrual flow, and sometimes fatigue, enlarged spleen you can see, and in some of the patients jaundice can be notified frequently. And in this thrombocytopenia, actually the patient needs more family care and self care for the children. That is, what is the self care usually you give for the thrombocytopenia cases means you should advise not to drink more alcohol while taking new medications, and don't take new medications without the prescription of the doctor. And when there is bleeding from the gums, you have to explain them not to use the toothbrush which is hard. That means they have to use extra soft brushes. And when there is nasal bleeding, ask them to blow the nose very gently with a soft tissue or very smooth cloth. And be careful when using the scissors, knives, needles or other sharp tools. Take steps to prevent burns while cooking, and shave with only electric razor. Avoid contact sports and other activities that might cause injury. That means these children are avoided from the sports because there will be injuries in the sports. Use a nail file with a rounded end instead of a clipper when grooming fingernails and toenails. So, by using these measures, small measures, mostly the bleeding conditions can be avoided frequently. Coming to the diagnostics, how can you diagnose the thrombocytopenia? Usually, but to have diagnosed, in every condition you take the history and physical examination and other blood investigations. Here also the same, history and physical examination. Coming to the physical examination, you have to take the previous report and present any problems is there. And coming to the medical history, you have to take the complete medical history from the patient, either having any associated diseases from how many years. You have to collect all the past health history, and you have to also collect the hereditary history, because some of the genetical causes are hereditary from thrombocytopenia. And here doctors may ask regarding the factors which affects the platelets, as any they are using any medications or herbal remedies, and drinking more beverages, and sometimes using quinine also, and the general eating habits also they will take the history. And for the risk for AIDS, you have to ask if there is a more blood transfusion, there is risk for AIDS, and you have to collect the family history in order to know the risk from the heredity. Coming to the risk factors, there are in certain types of cancer, aplastic anemia, autoimmune diseases, and toxic chemicals, and certain medications, certain viruses, and certain genetic conditions. These are the genetic risk factors. The risk factors of all certain types of cancers, aplastic anemia, autoimmune diseases, exposure to toxic chemicals and medications, and some certain when the child is exposed to some of the viral diseases or having any predisposing genetic condition. These are the risk factors. In the investigations, the other investigation, blood investigations, you have to take the complete blood count, blood smear, bone marrow test, and the doctor usually recommend for the PT and PTT. That is platelet count and total platelet count and for thrombocytopenia. And usually when the spleen is enlarged, in some cases you will have the enlarged spleen. In order to diagnose the enlarged spleen and any other enlarged liver, usually here the patient is having some of the associated symptoms with jaundice. So that time you have to take the ultrasound. Coming to the treatment, here usually the treatment is desmopressin. It usually stimulates the endothelial cells to secrete, and here in this desmopressin usually it is given 0.3 micrograms per kg body weight IV or subcutaneously every 30 minutes for over 30 minutes. That means it is given very slowly and diluted. It is given diluted and it is given in two divided doses, that is every 12th hourly, that is BD dose they are giving. And in very small children, we can't give frequently the injections and tablets. In that time, usually nasal sprays are available if they are having any nasal bleeding. One spray in one nostril according to the age. If the child is less than 5 years old, one spray in one nostril, that is usually it contains 150 micrograms. And if the child is about 5 years or an adolescent or an adult, then one spray in each nostril, that is it contains nearly 300 micrograms. And sometimes you can use the factors, that is immunoglobulins, that is factor 8, and the concentration should be 20 to 30 international units per kg body weight of the child. And in type 1, type 2 and type 3, along with factor 8, they are giving the cryoprecipitate. This is one type of this cryoprecipitate. They are giving 1 to 2 bags per kg body weight. This is just like one type of serum. And next, vitamin K. Usually it is used in coagulation factors to have the blood clotting system. And vitamin K 10 milligrams subcutaneous they are giving according to the condition. Usually if the bleeding is very minute, they are giving body, and if it is the bleeding is severe, usually they give for 3 days. And fresh frozen plasma 10 to 25 ml per kg body weight can be recommended according to the condition of the patient. And platelet transfusion when there is more decrease in the platelet count. Usually this is the treatment. And in some cases, if the patient is not completely recovered and the patient goes with the kidney problems, that time hemodialysis also is recommended for these cases. And the same treatment is continued for in these cases also. If the patient goes into kidney failure also, the same treatment will be continued. And according to the condition, usually NSAIDs are avoided completely in these cases. Why means to reduce the bleeding tendency. And usually if the liver is enlarged and the spleen is enlarged and they are having any jaundice, if the patient is suffering with jaundice, the treatment is given according to the bilirubin levels and to control it. And if there is a spleen enlargement and the platelets are not increasing even after giving the factors, factor 8, type 1, type 2, type 3 are there in factor 8. Even after giving these immunoglobulins also, if the platelets are not increasing and if they are gradually falling down, that time the patient